Hey, what's going on, brothers? Shalom. Thanks for tuning in to another dialogue with the raw, the real, and the red pill. And on this specific discussion, I wanted to bring up the topic of the bitch can't be satisfied. You know, the perpetuality of her discontent. And this is pretty much the root nature of all women. It's just how they are. Have you ever wondered why nothing you do is good enough for her? Why she can have it all and still be unhappy? This is why. And the first thing we got to understand is a woman's happiness is temporal. We're going to get into why this may be, As I said earlier, nothing is good enough for this bitch. Let's take, some of the more higher echelon women, these basketball wives. Let's look at Blake Griffin, for example. We have many cases where these women, they have it all. The big house, any car they want to drive, money on tap. But, it's not good enough. They leave these men and take them for everything they have. $1,000 a month in child support. It isn't good enough. This bitch wants the house. She wants all that she can get out of you. She wants the most that she can get out of anything. She has no sense of, reasoning to what is reasonable. The only thing that is reasonable to her is what affects her. She is an entitled creature. Yes, she is. These bitches getting $300,000, $400,000, wanting this a month in child support and still claiming as though it isn't enough. Her perpetual discontent. I believe much of this is rooted in the fact that she is unoriginal. She is always needing of exterior stimulus at all times. She always needs to be stimulated. It's like when you read a book, woman, I believe women look at everything like this, I'm going to just give an example that maybe the brethren can understand, like when you read that good book, and every day you go back to this book and you try to get as much as you can out of this book. And once you're finished with the book, you're ready to pick up another, I believe that's how women are concerning men. It's like a dog chasing its tail. It's never content. It's never satisfied. Got some notes here. I believe that the woman is unoriginal. She is needing of exterior stimulus at all times. And it's because she is to be led and told what to do. That is this bitch's nature. You understand? A lot of people might disagree. I made a video a while ago talking about how the black woman is a woman in general are followers and they are submissive and it's more of an ideal of what do they follow and who do they submit themselves unto. And to give you an example of this, and I'll give you the answer to this. Women submit themselves to social normalities, and honestly, they submit themselves to things that are evil. They submit themselves to all manners of carnality. But this is why they feel a need for validation at all times. And I can give you an example. Women hold dearly unto them college degrees, their bachelor's, their doctorate degrees, because they're unoriginal. They have to be programmed. They have to be told what to do and how to think. We all know as men in the manosphere, a man has a mind of his own. We're philosophers. We are original. So we find contentment in a lot of different things. You know what I mean? Because we have free minds. We are the creators. You know, while this bitch needs validation, and she constantly needs this validation. You know, if she doesn't have this validation, then she is what? Not content with herself. You know what I mean? Men are stimulated by the small things in life and can assimilate wisdom and depth in the small things. For example, you know, just the other day, I was walking to my truck. You know, I was at work. Got done with a delivery and was just walking to my truck. And I happened to see a helicopter seed. You know, that tree. I think it's a maple tree. Maybe wrong, but it spreads and firmly amidst the ground with the seed that spins around in the air. And, you know, men are naturally deep thinkers. We like peace and quiet because we can get a depth of understanding. We can get a stimulus out of any little thing. You know, that helicopter seed that is going through the air, you know, landing in its designated spot to be fertilized by the soil and to create another plant. You know, at least with me, when I get in a deep thinking process of little things like that, I think of the duplicity in life, the complete circle of life, polygamy even. You know, how these multiple seeds would, be fertilized by the soil and, you know, spread life, you know, in general. But little things like this will bring contentment into an individual, having a mind for yourself and having understanding, you know. And like I said earlier, men are creators and have originality within them, which breeds philosophical depth in men to where we're content with the smaller things, the things that a bitch would have even noticed or give a second wink at. She wouldn't even pay attention to it, you know. Men in general need little to nothing to find contentment in life. And men who are not content are usually mentally rooted in the everlasting chase to try to fulfill a bitch. You know, the kind of guys who aren't content are usually, you know, never content because they either thinking like women or they're thinking to try to appease women. You know, you got that guy, he has to have the new car, you know, he has to have the new Jordans, you know, the new clothes, the money. You know, there's a point, you know, that I think men are you know, come to a point of contentment in life, you know, and even in the point of growing, you know, and this has a lot to do with the mental state of minimalism. You know, even when you grow, you can reinvest, you know, your growth and still be content while gaining more. You know, you can't save money by spending money per se. And if you spend money, why not reinvest it into yourself? You know, just for example, you know. But, you know, I want to dig deeper into the mind of this bitch, you know. I'm going to give you an example. You know, we have Tyrone, you know, Tyrone and LaQuisha. You know, Tyrone's don't got a job. Tyrone's home. You know, he get his bitch the dick whenever she wants it. You know, the sex is there, it's popping. You know, he's at home with her. That time is there. But, you know, the woman eventually becomes unsatisfied. At some point, that woman will look for the opposite polarity of Tyrone and start trying to talk to a man who got some money in his pocket or might have a job that's fulfilling in a career, you know, or succeeding elsewhere in the working field in life, you know. So this woman will cheat on Tyrone, you know, and it works the other way around because then you have Kevin, the working man, you know, let's say Kevin the real estate agent, you know, he's dealing with Tiffany, and he's out all day, you know, getting money, you know, all the bills are paid, all the utilities are paid, but now this bitch Tiffany is unsatisfied because Kevin isn't home enough. Kevin doesn't spend enough time with her. So what does Tiffany do? She go and call Tyrone because Kevin cares more about his job than he does about her That's how she thinks. She's forever ungrateful. Contentment is not within her. Essentially, a woman wants a man to break a man, to become her simp, then to eventually destroy the simp, all so she can lose respect and interest in that simp to find another stimulus. Women need exterior stimulus. They need stimulus. They're not mentally. They can't entertain themselves. I don't know how to put it in words, you know. But I really broke that down, man. The woman seeks a man. You know, this is why women tend to chase men and fall for men who don't even want them. You know what I mean? Who fucks them and keeps it moving, hitting them off every now and then and keeps it moving. And honestly, that may be the way to go in this current day in society with, the liberated woman. You know, she wants a man so she can break that man to become her simp, to destroy that simp, eventually to lose respect and interest in him and find another stimulus, find another man. You know, they think like this not only with men, but with everything. You know, let's take it back a few years. You know, she had that new 2012 Honda Accord. You know, as time goes by, she gets bored with this car. The car has zero problems, zero issues, low maintenance cost. You know, the car's treated her very good, but now she has to have the 2018 Accord. Fucking Accord. She has to have that BMW now. You know, she might have a pair of, what type of shoes women be wearing? I don't know, some Tory Burch sandals, you know. She has plenty of shoes, and we already know a lot of women are frivolous spenders. You know, that's kind of like a fact concerning women, you know, but they lose respect for the things that they have, and they always seek for more and better. Their hearts and their minds are like the bottomless pit. You know, it can never be filled. They're like vessels with holes in them. You know, no pun intended. But that hole is about as deep as the cavity between their legs. You know what I'm saying? It runs deep. But all pun intended. But let's keep it going. You know, they think like that with everything, from men to cars to clothes, you know, even to new simps, you know. To control her or to keep a leverage over this woman, you must leave her wanting. You know, you can't break yourself to satisfy her. Allow her to continue to have her wants. Allow her to continue to complain, nag, and cry. That's just what the fuck they do. And no matter what you do as a man, that will never change, because that is solely her nature. You understand? You know, gratitude and contentment is not within her, but rather, and this is the key, the bartering of herself. Women barter themselves. Women essentially are barter. You understand? Especially when you go into the scriptures and consider, you know, you had to pay a price for the dowry of virgins, you know, for taking on a woman. You had to pay for this woman. Women have always been barter in the base society, and especially in the patriarch society, and they still barter now, but now they're free agents, they're liberated, they barter themselves. Let's say, you know, for example, you paint the house. You didn't necessarily do it for this bitch, you did it because you wanted to paint your house. You know what I mean? Whatever you do, even though it may not be directly for her, and if she's pleased by it, she will try to reward you with what? Sex. You know, we all been there, and it's honestly quite offensive to me because, you know, her sexual liberation should only be to the discernment of yourself as a man. She shouldn't be sexually liberated at all, and the liberation that she has should be at your demand and at your wanting, not a reward for anything in particular. It shouldn't be like that, you know, unless you're in control of that. But you know, like I said, women are essentially you know, they barter themselves, you know, because they have no self-validity. You know, they're vessels. You know what I mean? They're just like empty vessels, man. And they can only be filled with things that are that are around them. Philosophies that can be imposed on her. She cannot have a philosophy of herself that is self-sustaining and in fullness of reasoning. That's not something she can come up with. It has to be taught to her, has to be told to her, has to be instructed to her, has to be indoctrinated into her. But in nature, women are entitled prostitutes, essentially, looking to get that which is impossible, which is her contentment. She's always chasing to be, she's always looking to be satisfied, gratified, and she's always looking to have her cup full, but it's impossible. It will never be full, because she is like a dog chasing her tail. This is why many women grow old and bitter with many mouths and many skeletons hanging out their closet. That's when the unbeatable wall, pretty much, they run into that shit. You know what I mean? We all know the old bitter black bitch, late 30s, early 40s, on up to even the 60s and 70-year-olds. The bitter ones. You are unhappy, single, They thought all their life, they believed a lie, because that's something that was indoctrinated in them, that they can do it alone, that they don't need a man. Now that they don't got a man, they're still discontent, they're still unhappy. It's all a perpetual thing, because it's just the way this society is these days. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say socially here in America, women we already know they're whores. It's a whole culture. It's a whore lifestyle here. They date like whores. A lot of women have many sexual partners, and they have the DNA of a lot of different men within them. They're hot in the ass. They give into their carnality of their flesh, and they're not chaste. We know this. Okay. So a woman who's like that can be sexually desensitized to where she can never be satisfied. She's always going to be looking for bigger, wider, deeper, stronger. This bitch is always going to be looking for more in the bed. But let's say you have a different social structure in a different country where women are essentially virgins. The best she's ever going to have is the best that she had, which is the one that pops her. Yep, the one that pops that cherry. You understand? She doesn't have any wantingness for more. So the American society and the Western society and all the philosophies that come here for her, with the feminism, is really just leaving her to be a thirsty, wanting bitch, her later years of her life, an unhappy individual, because she's not in her purpose or her place here. But essentially, she is a dog chasing her tail, man. She is perpetually discontent because she is a vessel that can't be filled, lacking the source of contentment, which is self-validity and the self-sustaining purpose. We all know what a woman's purpose and place is. If she's not in it, then, everything I just said will pretty much pertain unto her. These women, nothing will ever be good enough for her. Nothing, ever. Not here. Not in the way things are ran here. But that's just some thoughts and ideas I had concerning this topic. Hope you enjoyed the content. You know what I mean? But I'm going to go ahead and get up off of here. And just something to think and, meditate on. And, thank you for tuning into the Raw, the Real, and the Red Pill. And I catch y'all on the next one. Shalom.